You could just make a cut right here.
Yeah.
And then, pretend like, I've known his name the entire time. I am Fernando. I am the editing wizard.
Cute. This is going to be edited out.
Bow
so I can
before
say whatever,
my omnipotence.
I can say whatever dumb shit I want.
I could spend a lot of time. Right, yeah. I could.
Every night in my dreams, I see you. Okay, I'll stop singing.
Why? Keep singing. It's nice.
Because you're editing this out.
Or not.
Or not.
I feel you. I don't know the rest. That's all I know.
I can't find it. Shit.
Is it not on like the album staff somewhere?
Wherever you are.
Keyboard, purple.
All right, I'm looking this up now.
Extreme power metal. And it does. Oh, personnel here. No. Cohen Jansen. I don't know what I said before, but if we cut here back, it will be something like.
Sup, nerds? Welcome to episode 32 of Powerful, a Power Metal podcast. This is Stella, and I'm here with Kyle.
Hello.
And Fernando.
Hello.
And we are back for Spooktober with our semi-spooky episode. Ooh. But we talk about power metal, so how spooky can we really be?
Yeah, power metal is this happy, uplifting thing, but it can be spooky when you need it to. And it's October, we got to celebrate Halloween.
Halloween? Oh, Halloween.
Oh, hey!
I get them mixed up sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, heavy metal has such a big, horror and spooky themed stuff in it, but we'll see if power metal does. But before we get into that, we've got some news for you.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've recorded an episode, so plenty of news stories to cover. Some of these albums, we wanted to talk about the announcement, and then now the release is right around the corner. So how about that?
Yeah, there's a ton of new stuff out. Okay, well, so what's the first one?
The first one of those would be Galneryus. They have a new album called Into the Purgatory that was revealed and is coming out on October 23rd. And if you're listening to this episode and you're thinking to yourself, geez, October 23rd, that already happened, you would be correct because this album is going to be released in between the recording and release of this episode.
Yeah, right now, all we have in the past, which is now, is there's this album preview track or album preview thing on YouTube, which just has snippets of the whole album. And there's also one single called The Followers. Plus,
for you and myself and a few hundred of our closest friends, seeing the song Glory performed live.
Oh, yeah. We saw Glory live, which was kind of cool.
Exclusive.
Yeah, you can look up the recording for that on YouTube, but you, our dear future listeners, already have the friggin' album. But let's talk about the first single, The Followers. Did you guys get to hear it?
It's kind of weird.
How is it weird?
Operatic vocals.
Yeah, surprise show operatic vocals. I'm like, I didn't know he can do that, but cool.
And it doesn't have the same straightforward, fast, Galneryus, crazy power metal thing that you come to expect. It kind of jumps around a bit with the style.
It's a bit more pace to the story, probably. Because if I recall correctly, this is still part of the same story as the previous two albums. Right?
I don't know the story
They're
at all.
Part of a story? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a multi-album story, and Sue, and I don't remember if it was Sue alone or who of the guys were, but they wrote first the whole story and then started making the music to fit that story across the albums.
Oh, that's cool. I think it's cool when they do that.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's
wish
about.
I understood what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the keys part of this album kind of reminds me of the song There's No Escape. And it doesn't sound like a super high vocals, energetic Euro power thing. It has more of a technical, a lot of I don't know I don't know what the word is, but it's like
Fiddly
it's like a lot of
diddlies.
phrases going like riddly diddlies, and I'm sure this word is totally not helpful at all. But I'm getting some ultra prog vibes from here.
It's not the like crazy shred that most Galneryus is. Like the solo still has that, but the rest of
Yeah.
the song not so much.
Yeah, I guess this is for fans of like drums and bass being prominent in heavy metal songs.
Is this like the coming of Prognerius? Is that kind of
Prognerius, maybe. I don't know. I thought the album art was also like quite different from other Galneryus offerings. It's called Into the Purgatory, and the text is like all aggressive and red and like scary looking.
Yeah, it's quite purgatory-ish.
Maybe they're changing their image.
I don't know.
Heavier Galneryus, perhaps.
If you go through the album art of Galneryus, it's really inconsistent, actually.
It is. This kind of
Sure.
reminds me of like old Yamabe Galneryus, like really old Galneryus.
Back in the days where metal was metal.
Yeah,
When it was real, man.
when it was real, back in my day, when
Back in 2003, bro.
back in 2003, when I didn't know that power metal was a thing, but I listened to this music, which I guess we all classify as power metal. But
I'm stoked for this album. Ever since we saw them live, I've been in a big Galneryus mood, watching a lot of their stuff, listening to a bunch of their albums. So I'll
so
be
we'll
looking
see
forward to
if
this.
this is all the same, a little different, maybe a little bit of both. So yeah, look out for Galneryus Into the Purgatory, October 23rd.
Or now.
Or now, literally now. And you know what's out? What else is out literally now? Vision Divine, When All the Heroes Are Dead, October
Yes.
25th.
Vision Divine announced a new album and put it out all in a very short time span.
Wow. Well, that's good because they were like working on this new album since like 2018 when they released
The single.
that one random single, Angel of Revenge.
It was a good,
Angel
good
Revenge
announcement.
is an amazing
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, it's such a good song. Oh my gosh. Do we review this album now or later?
We got a review copy of this album. We'll review it later in the reviews section.
We got a review coffee, but then we're gonna review this later in this episode. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, please listen to Vision Divine's When All the Heroes Are Dead, out literally now.
The first full album with Ivan as their singer.
Yeah,
He's really
singer
good.
of other Italian power metal band Dirty On. He is I think he's a good fit.
Yeah, I think this one worked really well,
Yeah,
which
he
I
fits.
guess we'll just wait to give into the details of that one.
Okay, yeah. We'll move on now to our next news item, which is Stormwarrior new album Norsemen revealed. And its release date is scheduled to be November 29.
Yes, I'm really excited for this one. Stormwarrior is like straight up fast, speedy German power metal with lots of Viking themes and extra E's put on the ends of their words. They don't do that as much on this one, which is a bit sad. But I'm really stoked for a new Stormwarrior album. It's been, I think, 5 years since the last one. So they put out the first single of Odin's Fire, which is, I think, what you'd expect. Just like really, really fast, really catchy. And it's talking about like all these different Norse gods. The album art has like a boat with Vikings and wolves and a dude that looks suspiciously like Anthony Hopkins' version of Odin. But
this
you know
sounds
what?
this sounds really fucking metal. Just saying.
It's so fucking metal. It's so great.
It's good. It's good to see some metal. Hail Mighty Thor.
Hail
like
Mighty
this,
Thor.
Yeah, Hail Mighty Thor. This album's gonna be lit. With
Yeah,
a E
like-
at the end.
It's never gonna slow down.
It's good.
Full speed or no speed.
Full
Listen
speed
to
or no
Stormwarrior.
speed. Yeah.
This is one that I'll be looking forward to at the end of November.
How about Brothers of Metal? New album announcement.
Yeah, Brothers of Metal.
Tell us about Brothers of Metal.
They're a pretty new band from Sweden, I want to say. They had their first album a couple years ago, and I think it really took off quite a bit for them. It's all about...
I feel like I hear people mentioning Brothers of Metal a lot in our community, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting album. I really dug it because it's kind of got like your heavier, like more straightforward metal stuff, but then also like
It's
some
quite
really
folksy,
melodic,
I think.
anthemic, kind of folksy power metal-y stuff
Yeah.
too. It's like a huge band. They have like 8 people and like 3 vocalists, most of which is going back between male and female vocals, and like the male ones are more not quite
Like
harsh,
"Rah!"
but
like not
gruffer
not
for
like
sure.
harsh, not like but like
Not harsh enough to
"Ah!"
scare away power metal fans. We'll say that.
right? It's like yelling vocals, but not like the guttural growls.
Yeah, whenever I listen to these guys, it makes me want to go back and play the new God of War because it's just all about Norse mythology stuff.
Cool.
Like the album is called Emblas Saga, which I believe Embla was like the Norse version of Eve, like from Adam and Eve. They have a song called Njord, which is about like a god of the winds and shit. So I thought it was a pretty good, catchy single.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. So this is for fans of people who like to fist pump and say, "Hey."
Yeah, if you like your like melodic, epic Viking metal and talk about Vikings and Norse gods and going, "Rah, hey,
Hey.
this is for you."
Then check
This
out
is what I'm looking forward
check out
to.
Bros of Metal.
It's interesting to see the like growth in their music videos because for their last album, they put the music videos out like months after the album, and it's basically just them running around in a forest. But this
Oh.
one, they have like a studio, they have like effects, so the label's throwing them some money. How
That's
about
great.
that?
Yeah. They got signed by AFM Records, so yeah, they have a bigger budget rather than just running around the forests.
Yeah.
Although
Which has
I
its own
kind
charm
of
to it.
love like running around the forest music videos too.
It's like a whole genre
It
onto
has a certain
itself.
charm to it.
You're not a real metal band if you don't have at least one music video running around the forest.
Mm-hmm.
I like that meme where it's like Swedish Rangers duties rescuing metal bands from getting lost in the forest, making music videos.
And like all their photo shoots because you have to be in
Yeah.
a Norwegian forest or else you're not a real metal band.
Yeah, I guess you have to go to the forest. We can't record a music video out here in the suburbs. That doesn't make any sense. All right. So our last news item is Don't Drop the Sword. They released a new EP yesterday, the day before yesterday.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
They announced
I got
this
a
like 3 days before
notification
it came out.
on my Bandcamp app thingy. Not sponsored by Bandcamp, but that's what happened to me.
Yeah, our buddies in Don't Drop the Sword, which is a pretty great little German power metal band. They released a new EP called The Wild Hunt, and it's out now. You should check it out. It's got 5 great songs on it. There's a single called Strings of Sanity, which I think the intro to it is pretty fitting for our like sort of spooky power metal episode today.
Yeah, there's like some minor key like strings, which was surprising because I thought these guys were like pure guitar, no keys kind of metal.
Yeah, I thought it sounds like a violin or something that they threw in there. It was a nice little touch. Maybe that's the sanity or lack thereof part is thrown in these strings.
Yeah, if you haven't heard Don't Drop the Sword, like we had them on our show. They're for fans of German power speed metal, early Blind Guardian,
yeah, like
Walls of
like
Jericho.
Baby Guardian is how I've heard be described.
Baby Guardian, they have a lot of like youthful enthusiasm in their variety of German speed power metal. So check them out. I love everything they've produced so far.
Yeah, me too. This is like I know we're probably biased, but I think they're a great band to check out.
Oh yeah, they're a great band to follow. I'm happy to have found them many years ago on the Bandcamp with their very first like baby EP. Yeah. Okay, so those are all our announcements for the episode, or not announcements. What are these called? News. And if you want them summed up in text format, you can find them on our show notes, which will be on our website, powerful-podcast.com. And if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to chat, you can also find us on our social media, on Facebook at Powerful Podcast, Instagram at Powerful Podcast, Twitter at whatever our Twitter is, Powerful PM.
Dude, whoever has Powerful Podcast, they don't even use it. It pisses me off.
Yeah, they are not powerful. I don't know how to kick people off of Twitter accounts, so if any of you listeners know how, let us know.
I think you need to be bigger, maybe.
You need to be bigger. And if you want to support our show and help us get a teensy bit bigger, you can share with your friends, write, what is it? It's not called iTunes reviews anymore. It's called Apple Podcast reviews, whatever. Just write those reviews or contribute $1 or $2 to our Patreon also at Powerful Podcast.
Yeah, help cover those hosting costs. Cover the like marketing costs that we have, and maybe we'll even pay Fernando for his editing a little bit.
Yeah, we
I'd
will
like
stop.
to.
We will stop exploiting Argentinian labor someday.
Outsource free, cheap international labor.
Yeah, right now we're still outsourcing free, cheap. We're still outsourcing free international labor, but one day our dream is to be able to pay him. So we will achieve that someday. But today is not that day because a bunch of us went to Iron Maiden show.
Dude, this was an expensive show.
It was.
How do you like that transition, huh?
Oh, man. We have the best transitions.
The best transitions
Okay,
in the
so
business.
tell us about your Iron Maiden show. I didn't go because I was like, I don't know, I'm like literally dying. And I also was in Canada, which you probably don't want to hear about. We do want to hear about the Iron Maiden shows, though.
The Iron Maiden shows in California were way before you were in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was around Prague Power.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know. I was like super dead after Prague Power. Also, my leg is still a bit crippled. But you know what was really funny? Like, people at and after Prague Power kept asking me about like how my injury was going. I'm very touched. I appreciate that you all care about me. And tragic DDR accident, if you missed it, I like tore a hamstring playing DDR, which was fucking stupid. And then I was on crutches at work and I fucking fell, which was even stupider. So I just was temporarily disabled.
How was your DDR performance before the accident? Were you crushing it?
It was okay. I'm not like super wonderful at it, but the song that I like injured myself on because I was playing with that warming up was called DDR players will know. It's called was it called Bring Me to Life? No, Come to Life.
Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
No. It's not the Evanescence fucking one. No, it's not that one. It's called Come to Life. Yeah. It's quite hard. That song is really hard. Oh my god. All right, anyway. Enough about me. I want to hear about you guys.
So the Iron Maiden show, I went to the one in Oakland at the Oracle Arena there. This was, I think, right after Prague Power, so I was just like super dead the whole time, but I still like stood up to watch the show. It is by far the biggest production I've ever seen and might ever will see for a metal show. I don't know, Fernando, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, for sure. Like the Iron Maiden tours just keep getting better and bigger with more props and theatricals and fire and explosions and giant monsters and planes and also they play Iron Maiden, so it's all great. Like I understand that. How big was your show? How big was your venue?
Well, it's a whole arena. I have no idea what the capacity is. Several thousand, I would assume.
Nice.
Way bigger than any other metal show I go to because I'm used
Fernando's
to like my
show
small
is,
room
like,
with like a few
way
hundred
bigger.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember like I saw a picture that you shared and it was a decent size. So
it's where the Golden State Warriors played until like right now. They played there for years. And they sold it out for like 10 years.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's where they should be playing everywhere because that show works because it's so big and so grandiose. We probably had the similar set lists.
I don't think you change the set list for a show like that.
Yeah,
you have to like plan like the gigantic ass props.
Yeah,
so they're gonna open with Aces High
exactly
and have the like plane flying around, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's great. The giant plane just floating there, moving around, firing.
And like Bruce changing his like outfits every single song, and like the backdrops changing, the pyrotechnics during the Trooper when he's like sword fighting like the giant Eddie.
Oh yeah,
and like shooting him with the flag. The giant Icarus, the fucking flamethrower that he has.
Yeah, the double-handed
flamethrower.
One flamethrower in each hand.
Why?
Just like he deserves it.
This
It's
sounds
okay.
like a theatrical experience more than a metal show. I've never been to a Maiden show. This sounds insane.
It is
It's a
insane. Like
full
they still
thing.
have all the metal. Yeah,
It's more than just listening to music.
Oh yeah,
It's a,
definitely.
it's a full body
For sure.
experience.
Yeah,
It's,
for
I mean,
sure.
it's so damn expensive.
Yeah, it's
Like,
and it's
how
That's
worth
do
why
it.
this
it's
shit.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Cool.
thought it was worth it just because it was like a killer set list. Basically, all the best Maiden songs. Like
Yeah,
all my favorites were on there. I liked his Fear of the Dark, and he's like walking around with this lantern, like adding to like the spooky vibes.
yeah,
It's pretty spooky.
The giant like monster like inflatable thing that shows up at the end.
yeah. It's just everything is perfect about that show, and it's like at this point, like they don't really have a need to actually perform well, but they actually like Bruce can still sing perfectly, and that's just such a treat.
Yeah, like the guitars, the drums, the vocals, all still great. And the guitarists too. I was really far back; I could hardly see them, but they're doing like crazy guitar tricks and like all this, like throwing them up
Oh,
in the air
yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. That's the thing when you have free guitar players. One of them can afford to just go
Just
and
throw
do
the guitar
dumb
in the air.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. And I want to tell a story from this show.
Please do.
This show was announced with a lot of time, and I bought my tickets for this show back in November of last year, so almost a year in advance. And here, maybe I don't know, in each country this sometimes seems to differ, but here in Argentina, you just buy your tickets online, but you have to get them printed, and you only get into the show with your actual printed ticket, the official one.
It depends a lot on the venue
Hmm.
if they have like digital or physical or will
Yeah,
call.
that's why we have to always ask first if the venue can accept like just scanning it off your phone, because some venues want the paper.
Mhm. Yeah, here like the default is the official paper from the ticket provider.
So you have to print it out.
Yeah, and it's not like you can print it out. You go
Oh,
to the place.
Oh, I
and
can't
get
just print it
the
out
actual,
at home.
No,
or
it's an
whatever.
actual official ticket to prevent
see. Okay.
fake ones. And on the day of the show, which was Saturday, I went to get my ticket from where I store my tickets at home, and I realized I didn't have mine because I had never gone to pick it up.
Oh no.
I was convinced that I had it, but it wasn't here. I only have a couple tickets for other shows later, like Rhapsody and other stuff. And that's a panic moment. So I tried to figure out, okay, where was I supposed to go pick it up and go into that place, and then from there to the venue. And the venue was like an hour on bus from my home. And okay, I can go get it, and I'm calling the place, and then I find that they don't open on Saturdays, and the show was Saturday. So how can I get
no.
in? And I was checking the emails and the terms of service, and you're usually supposed to pick it up 3 days before the show and whatever. And I'm freaking out. And luckily, I sent an email, one of those emails that you think nobody will answer, of customer support.
Customer service emails.
And I get a reply like 2 hours before doors open. So it says I can go to the ticket office from the stadium where the show is at, which is a football stadium, and they will give me my ticket up until the time the show starts. So I just blast out of home, grab a taxi, and get there.
Oh, you were like, screw the bus. I'm going to take a taxi.
Yeah, because I was not going to make it in time if I took the bus or public transit. It was going to take me too long, and I might miss, because the mail told me that I could take my tickets up till the moment the doors open. After that, everything's lost. And I just got there in a taxi, ran around the stadium trying to find the ticket office, and luckily I got it, and I was able to go in like minutes before the doors open. It was way too stressful.
Yeah. That sounds kind of stressful, but I'm glad it all worked out.
You swooped in right at the last second. I'm picturing like Indiana Jones like pulling his hat through the door as it closes. That's you grabbing like your tickets.
Yeah, it's something like that. But there was actually a lot of people there, so I'm not the only one. But I guess
There's a lot of people like scrambling last minute, picking up their tickets.
Yeah, and people like calling. No,
yeah,
I'm
man,
missing
going to
this."
shows is kind of like takes a bit of planning, and it's quite a lot of work.
This is one of the things that I don't like about shows being tickets being sold a year in advance.
Yeah, because
it's easy to forget
like you don't know
stuff.
what's gonna happen to your life like a year from now, right?
Keeping track of this stuff, just sometimes you just lose track of things.
Oh, I know. And I understand that international bands have to make their arrangements like a year in advance, and they have to like pre-sell their tickets far in advance, but it's just a little bit difficult to keep track of and put your life in order that way.
Yeah, I think 6 months is a decent amount of time. But in cases like this, it was like, I remember at the time I was deciding if I was going to see Maiden at Rock in Rio in Brazil or at the local show here in Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was like an almost a year in advance decision. And it's like, do I do the trip or not? How much will it cost?
To Brazil?
Yeah, and luckily I didn't choose that because then all the prices went to hell, and I'm glad I did go here in BA to the show, and man, that show was great. Just like Kyle was saying, I know that you were all broken, Kyle, and you just stayed a bit in the back.
The floor seats were sold out. Or like the standing part was sold out. I could have like tried to get a secondhand one, but I just got like a seat in the back, which was still expensive as shit.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But like I stood up, and like the boomers and like next to me in the seats were just sitting enjoying. Like, oh, this was a quaint little show.
The boomers.
I probably looked like an asshole, like standing up headbanging, but I didn't care.
No,
that's okay.
That's okay.
You're
proper
enjoying
etiquette.
the show.
I got my field tickets, my standing tickets, as usual, and it was great. And I went all the way to almost all the way to the front, the most massive pit ever.
I was surprised by I thought the pit seemed small given the size of the crowd at my show.
Do people really pit in like Oakland shows?
Oh yeah. Oh, please.
Oakland is pretty wild, right?
Oakland at like folk metal and mellow death shows gets lit. Like I was just at the Elevati Corpaclani show. That one got fucking
Oh,
wild.
that sounds fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And when Ensiferum came through, that one was insane. So yeah, Oakland knows how to party.
Oakland knows how to party. Oh yeah.
When it's like the normies going to Iron Maiden, maybe not so much. There was still a pit, but like that pit relative to the pits I've seen at shows like a fraction of the size.
Like small folk shows. The more
like small folk shows. I was a bit underwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
If Elevati has like the same size pit as Iron Maiden, something's going wrong. But what are you gonna do?
That's something that you mentioned there. There is a big percentage of I don't want to be that true metal guy, but there's a lot of non-fans that go to Iron Maiden around the world.
Because it's one of two metal bands that they've heard of.
Yeah.
It's them and Metallica.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden and Metallica.
Yeah, the big names. And there's a lot of people. It's something that annoys me, but like, if you don't like a thing, don't go just to say that you went. Like, it makes no sense.
It's still like an experience, though.
Yeah, but I know of many cases. For example, there's friends of a friend that went to the show in Canada, and they went like, oh yeah, we just go to the back of the field and sit there and have a picnic and post a picture on Instagram. I never heard of Maiden before.
That's the important part. The posting a picture on Instagram.
How have you never heard of Maiden before? You could not listening to music.
No, they know.
Have heard of Maiden
they've heard of them. They heard of them. That's why they went. Because Iron Maiden,
they
of
are
course.
famous.
I hear they're famous. I have no idea
I
what
hear
music
they would make a
make.
great Instagram background.
Yeah, and that's like, I can't believe people do this.
Yeah, I can't believe people do that too. I'm like sort of surprised, but sort of not.
I'm just like trying to picture like an Instagram influencer type picture, and then you have like Bruce with his flamethrower in the background. Like, oh, having a great time out here at the At Iron Maiden show.
At hashtag Iron Maiden, hashtag live music.
Hashtag
I am
blessed.
still hashtag blessed. I'm like still terrible at like hashtagging on Instagram.
Just
Like,
put a bunch
I
of
don't
Better
know.
than
terms.
us. I never put hashtags on Instagram.
I
Yeah.
only use Instagram to follow corgis. That's pretty much
corgis
what
and
the
black metal.
powerful. Yeah, so the powerful podcast Instagram has a bunch of like black metal and corgis and power metal. Yeah, got to keep a good variety of stuff on your feed. And also, like, I don't know, Instagram is so weird. It's like I don't really follow the like kind of normal stuff, but there's a lot of products being sold to you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
That's how
Everything
the
is
whole
an
system
ad.
works.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
Welcome
weird.
to
thing.
capitalism.
Content
I don't want to
is
go into
marketing.
an anti-capitalist rant right now, but yeah, Instagram is weird. Like, just unfollow everything and just subscribe to a bunch of corgis.
Yeah, no, unfollow
like,
everything
pretty
except for
much.
at Powerful Podcast. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfollow everything and then follow at Powerful Podcast. Message us and tell us you did that, and then I can recommend you a bunch of corgi accounts to follow because they are quite nice.
Yeah. To wrap up Iron Maiden, I think the thing that most made it worth it is hearing an entire arena's worth of people doing the whoa parts of the Trooper. Like the first time that happened, it was just like an explosion. It was cool as shit.
Oh, yeah.
So they have like 2 more shows next year in the UK. So if you're one of those weirdos, you can go to those shows and have a grand old time.
Weirdos who happen to live in the UK.
I know, right? It's weird.
God, what weirdos! So weird. Cool.
I wanna add a final thing to. I know I mentioned this a lot. How the shows here are in Latin America might be different from North America and Europe, and the Maiden show is one of the prime examples. Basically, 50% of the field, which is an entire football field, is the pit, and that thing that you just mentioned, Kyle, that's the stuff that should happen on every song. Everyone chanting, singing, all the riffs, all the moments. I think the biggest beat was when Fear of the Dark started, with the intro and everything like kind of comes to an eerie silence, and you see all the circles starting to open around the stadium, and you feel that slight pressure building up, not just from the atmosphere, but from the people pushing against you, because you know that when that riff comes in, all hell breaks loose.
It sounds like you're trying to seduce me.
Ooh, baby.
So it is a full experience, not just because of the theatricals and the music and the stages and the sword fighting eddies and the planes and the Icarus and the flamethrowers, but when you're at a biggest show with thousands of people that all just are enjoying the same thing with you, it just makes it all the much better, all the much more exciting and worth it.
Yeah. And like regular power metals just doesn't have like the pull to get that big of a show.
Yeah.
Like and like very few metal bands ever could do that. Iron Maiden might be the only one in terms of like how well they're known, the influence they've had over the decades and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's sad that the biggest shows right now are from the legacy acts, from the acts that still are going on from the time where rock and metal was more mainstream.
Yeah, this is so true. Because a lot of people are like, I didn't know that heavy metal was still a thing.
Yeah.
It's very much still a thing.
It is
We have a
very much still
podcast
thing.
about it.
Wow, you don't say.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
So to anyone that goes to a show, try to embrace this feeling. You know, you are with other people that like the same thing as you. Make it a party. Make it something memorable.
I really feel like heavy metal fans are. I think this is why I like heavy metal, even though it's not like super popular or on the radio or whatever. When you go to a show, you just feel like everybody is really into it, even if the show is really small.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
I've had a good experience at most shows I've gone to, and people are just so nice. Like I don't feel unsafe at all.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like my husband almost got into a fight like a Dragonette show. It's like indie pop kind of violence, you know?
Indie pop violence.
Indie pop violence.
No.
That's quite a thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a while back. Yeah, but I go to a lot of non-metal shows also, but it just feels like it's like what Fernando said earlier. I guess I never really like paid attention to the people that way, but I kind of get the vibes like they're going just because like they've heard about it from somewhere and their friends told them to go, and they're just like, you know, checking it out, have a few drinks, take a few selfies.
Yeah, enjoy.
But,
You
like,
might dabble in the music. It's not that important.
Just dabble in the music. But like at the metal shows, I mean, I could be hypocritical too because I make my husband come with me to metal shows, and he's like that guy who's like just dabbling in heavy metal, you know.
He's
But
like
I
getting
feel
into
like-
it.
No,
though.
he's really into it
after
by
all
now.
these years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say-
we've sucked him in.
Yeah,
His
he's already-
album of the year. His album of the year is Insomnium's "Heart Like a Grape." Fucking love
There
that
you
album.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's like absolutely obsessed with Yanni. Yeah, like we dragged him into it, but still, like I just love the enthusiasm of heavy metal people.
I had a really weird live show experience recently. So my friend took me to this live show for a guy named Mark Rebele or something like that. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's like an improvisational electronic vulgar music kind of guy. I don't really know how to
I have no
describe
idea what
him.
that is, but that sounds interesting.
Mhm.
But basically, every show has no set list. He just like records shit on the spot, and like that's the show.
Oh yeah.
Like him just making looping electronic things.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
sampling
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
I've been to shows like that.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, it was really interesting the way he could like improvise the music and like the lyrics and the like stories that he would like tell of his songs. But what was funny was the friend who took me to this. It's like, oh, it's a good thing you brought earplugs. It gets really loud. I'm like, dude, I go to metal shows. I know what fucking
Yeah,
loud
I'm
shows
like-
are like. And like, I put my earplugs in, and I'm like, this isn't that loud. Am I just like an asshole? Am I that guy
Yeah,
now?
no, I'm like I'm prepared. I have those reusable earplugs. I bring them to every show. It's like a given. I don't even like question if I need them. I'm just gonna bring them.
Mhm.
I kind of felt like I didn't need them at this show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that might happen.
I
Just
felt
in
like a bit of an
case.
asshole, but oh well.
No, but that's a reality, because if you've never heard something louder, that's the loudest thing you've ever heard.
Right.
And I think in the US specifically, rock and metal shows are really pushed. They are really loud.
Like the sound that's played is too loud. Do you think?
Yeah,
Because I honestly think it sounds worse without earplugs. Like I can't hear
Yeah,
anything.
it does.
It's just echoing and reverberating, and it's just like a wall of death for my ear.
It depends on where
Drums.
you're standing.
yeah, but I think that's mostly due to the levels. I'm saying that based on the few shows that I went to with you guys in the US,
Yeah.
and we don't. No metal show here is that loud unless someone made a mistake and people complain. You tend to have
Yeah,
loud
that's really
shows.
interesting. I feel like sometimes our drums and our bass is too loud.
Hmm.
Like I didn't realize that was a US thing. I thought that was maybe like a specific sound guy thing. Because there was another like indie rock show that like I went to with dear husband, who takes me to weird shows. The bass was just so turned all the way up.
Hmm.
This was it War Drum from not War Drum. Fuck. War Paint. Sorry, I was like War Drum's power metal. War Paint from LA. The bass was just so loud, like my ass was vibrating and like the ground was shaking. Like it was just absurd. It's like I don't know what you're going for. You just want to like drown everybody in sound, so we get like vibes literally, or like I can't hear anything.
I do like it when like the double bass drum does like shake your chest though. It makes you feel nice and powerful.
It makes you feel nice and powerful, but I just don't want to be like violated by bass.
That's an album name right there.
Violated by
bass.
Oh, I've just
That's the name of this
Yeah.
episode.
okay, violated by bass.
I had a weird like live experience I had recently was when I was at the Arcona show. Really small venue, and I was like in the very front. I like could only hear like the drums and bass, couldn't hear any of the vocals or any like the folk instruments, which I think was just part of where I was standing because I was like in front of the
Yeah.
speakers.
It's hard to hear when you're in the front. I somehow like, since my cripple stage, like I enjoy sitting in the back because you can actually hear more than you do in the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I made that meme I put on Facebook. That was the inspiration.
Yes, it is so true. It's like, yeah, I want to like jump up and down and headbang and chill and go hey with all the guys in the front, but I am also I also want to hear things.
Yeah, there's always a limit to how loud you make it till it goes over to the other side, and it's not really fun anymore. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at
For
Elevated, I don't think
sure.
I heard the hurdy-gurdy at all.
Oh no, that's the whole
no.
point of Elevate.
Yeah.
Like I could hear like the flute, I could hear the vocals, which like Fabian is a great vocalist live, and like the guitars and all that. But with all their instruments, something had to go, and the hurdy-gurdy was hard to hear.
Yeah, right. It's kind of hard to balance an 8-person band.
Yeah, and also with those folk instruments, the mix can be tricky.
Yeah, because they're like being amplified, right? And
Yeah, like he would like play
Yeah.
the flute like next to his microphone because it's like it's a tiny little like wood
It's a
flute.
flute.
You can't like you can't put a mic on that shit.
heavy metal flute. Yeah. So I don't know. This is a nice chat about live shows, and this might be a symptom of I just feel like we haven't really recorded since Frog Power, and we miss hanging out with each other on the internet.
Yeah.
So
And we just have a lot of stuff to talk about because so much
we
stuff
have
has
a lot
happened
of
in the
stuff
last
to talk
2
about.
months.
Yeah, live show tangent. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of stuff to talk about, we've got
Speaking
Batushka.
of stuff, okay.
Nothing
yeah,
is
so
spookier
just-
than
yeah, just-
legal
just to bring it-
disputes.
to bring it back to spooky news. Iron Maiden was kind of spooky. I mean, it had horror themes, kind of. So
Fear of the
not
Dark.
really.
Yeah.
Fear of the Dark. Yeah. So Batushka, we talked about it in last year's Drama of the Year section of our year-end review. But Batushka is a Polish black metal band, formed originally by Krzysztof Drabikowski.
Where's Don? Fuck.
Yeah, we need our Polish friend to help. Yeah, so formed by Krzysztof, and their music and lyrics are all in like they're all in like Slavonic language, and they're all themed Polish language, but it's not like modern Polish. It's like old school, like
It's like the equivalent to Old
Yeah.
English.
Oh.
yeah, like old Slavic language, and it's all themed based off of the Eastern, like Russian Orthodox Church. And when they perform live, all the band members are wearing like robes, and there's that like smoky pot thing, and it just feels like you're in church, but you're in like the wrong church.
Ooh.
Ugh.
So
Yeah.
if this is a power metal podcast, why are we talking about a Polish black metal band?
We're talking about Polish band because we love power metal, but we also love drama.
And we love
So-
memes.
And we love memes. We love memes.
Even
so we
tangentially,
live for this.
We like a bit of this music. Amazing.
Yeah, I actually, their first, so Batushka was just a normal, like, little black metal band. Their first release in, was it 2015 or something? Yeah, it was like 2015-ish. It was called Liturgia. And it's actually a really good album. So just imagine, like, Orthodox chants over melodic symphonic black metal. It's really cool. So yeah, we can move on and enjoy this music, but there is also a ton of drama. So to make a long story short, there's a bunch of like YouTube documentaries and weird stuff like summing up this whole story, but the vocalist Bart Krysiuk, he tried to claim ownership of this band, so he blocked the founder of the band, Krzysztof, from all social media accounts, tried to claim the Batushka name, basically tried to claim the band for himself. Meanwhile, Krzysztof was like, it's my band, bro. He didn't really say that. But basically, these two are fighting over the Batushka name. And what ended up happening was their there's a second album that they were working on, and it seemed like the two were racing to release the second true Batushka album. So the first one that was out is called Panihida. This was actually the original Batushka guys album, and this was out first. And this one had if you listen to it, Panihida, it has a very similar sound as the first Batushka album. And then the other guy, the vocalist guy, Bart, who tried to steal the name, a second Batushka album, also called Batushka. This one was called Hospodi. And this is like a more modern sounding album, and it doesn't really sound like the Batushka style at all. Yeah, so basically this band split off into two, and
they're both called Batushka?
They're called Batushka. Both of them are called Batushka.
Putting the two in Batushka.
Putting the two in Batushka. Yeah. So we've got two versions of Batushka. We have the Hospodi, Bart, the singer guy, who is he's actually touring a lot with his version of Batushka. He seems to be kind of more in it for the image, like the spooky, wrong church image. Whereas the original guys album, which Bandcamp had to change the name of it. So when this was released on Bandcamp, I got a notification, I bought it right away. So my copy says Batushka by Christoph. It says Batushka on it, but they had to change it. So now it just says by Christoph Drabikowski. Yeah. So
where do all the memes come in?
Yeah. So because of these two Batushka, there's all these memes, like the one with the Spider-Mans pointing at each other, being like, "Oh, I'm Batushka. No, you're Batushka." And then people on the internet started creating more Batushkas. So originally there were these two Batushkas, and then there's one that's called Batyushka. And this is the one that started the parody trend. And the caption on Bandcamp says, a true Batushka band by the Orthodox priest from Russia. We are not some bunch of LARPing posers, but true Christians comparing to some fake LARPers who can't spell the name correctly. We stand against Satanism or mockery of our Christian religion in any form.
That sounds tongue-in-cheek.
This is clearly a Batushka parody. So I was like, oh, there's a third Batushka. That's cute. But then we looked deeper in the bowels of the internet, and we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other Batushkas.
All with a variety of wonderful names.
Yeah, so their names are Bagtusa, Papushka, Katushka, Wartushka, Gavatushka, Bashupska. What the heck is this? I don't know what that is.
Oikulik or something like that.
Yeah, but their track is Liturgia, which is named after Batushka's first album. There's Waltushka.
There's Vatushka.
Yeah, these are all Batushka parodies, and I actually tried listening to some of the music. Some of them is generic. It just sounds like generic one-person black metal made in a bedroom.
Yeah.
And others are just straight out parody tracks with squeaky anime voices. There's even a anime weeb version of the cover art, which I think is hilarious.
Tushka is that one. Which one's
I
Weeb
don't
Tushka?
know. Weeb Tushka. I think that was just an art. I don't know if there's a Bandcamp page associated with it.
Yeah, I think it was just the art with that one.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah.
Papushka that has the Pope's face, and it's an actual Christian song, church song, just turned into some weird black metal, and I don't know, it works fantastically. Just due to the context, it's hilarious.
Nightcore Remix also has anime art.
Oh, the Nightcore Remix. Yeah.
Because of course there's a Nightcore Remix.
Of course. Yeah, you're gonna have a Nightcore Remix. For all you know, Liturgia is gonna start appearing on Dance Dance Revolution, which
That-
is pretty much my worst nightmare nowadays.
Yeah, get crippled to some Batushka black metal.
God, no, please. I like how the merch for Bagtusa is socks. Is that socks?
They have socks
yeah,
too.
it's
Hold on,
socks.
let me
Yeah,
look this
you
up.
can get fake Batushka socks.
It's just like a smiling Jesus. It's so creepy.
This is ridiculous. There's like 15 Batushkas. This all started out as like a
Oh, it has a
kind of
description.
spooky. Yeah. Oh, what's the description?
No true spirit is invoked unless you have the right footing. Walk this earth with true Orthodox socks.
Oh my god, that's so amazing. I wonder where they're from. Ukraine. Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. I just love how this, I don't know, this is probably like kind of sad to the original creator of this project that his
band is
his
now a
project
meme.
has become such a giant meme. But
Well, giant meme in the black metal community, I guess.
yeah, it is what it is. And we like to follow all sorts of metal, not just power metal, and we love the memes. So yeah, it was kind of fun looking for all these 15 Batushkas. And we will link all of these in our show notes for your enjoyment. But if you want something actually spooky, I recommend the original Batushka, the first album, Liturgia. And I'll recommend the original creators release, which is called Panihida. They are actually quite spooky and they're actually quite good.
Mhm.
I cannot guarantee the quality of the rest.
The parodies, yeah, that's probably a grab bag of quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of parody. All right, so that is enough spooky black metal meme.
All right, let's get into the spooky power metal. That's not memes.
Yeah, so do you guys actually do anything for Halloween?
No.
Yeah, I'll try to dress up at some point, or I'll go to like a theme park or something like that.
Theme park? Like
Yeah.
like the ones with roller coasters?
Yeah, so like Universal does Horror Nights, Knott's Berry Farm does Knott's Scary Farm, stuff like that.
That's scary.
Wow.
It's fun. Or like we're like watching horror movies as part of like our group watch thing. So just get into the vibes.
Yeah, I should
That's
do
cute.
that. I should watch those.
How about you,
movies.
Fernando? What is Halloween like in Buenos Aires?
Well,
Is it a thing?
technically it's not a thing. It has
not a
it has
thing.
become a thing in the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years, thanks to the magic of the internet and globalization. And but
They're like, oh, this looks fun. I'm gonna celebrate it too.
there's probably a lot of old people today that still complain about it. Like,
Yeah.
why are you wasting your time on this weird imperialistic party thingy that is not from our land?
An imperialistic
this is-
party.
Yeah.
This is true. No, this is true. Like it's the customs of another country,
Yeah.
and you could even say that like Halloween or not Halloween. I don't know why I keep thinking of Halloween.
Because
Like,
it's
I'm
still
not a
on top of the
Halloween
list.
I'm not a Halloween celebrator myself. Like the commercialized U.S. holiday is borrowed from like other cultures' traditions, like Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Like that's a Mexico thing.
That's a
Like,
Mexico
I don't know
thing.
in I don't know if in like South America like people have something similar.
Not that I know, but like here specifically in Argentina, like it's not an observed holiday at all. It's not something that the government says, yeah, this is a day to.
Oh
do
yeah,
a
the
thing.
government doesn't give us holidays. It's just like
Oh, yeah,
people just
you're
celebrate
right.
after work.
Well,
Yeah.
So here it's more like it came here through marketing, obviously, and
Yeah, they just want to sell you
all the
stuff.
TV shows. Like
Mm-hmm.
every
Halloween specials.
yeah, every show has at least one Halloween episode. So we all know what Halloween
Like
is.
you watch Hocus Pocus, or like there's usually a Halloween episode on like
And Simpsons always has a ton of
Yeah.
Halloween
yeah,
stuff.
the Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons every season, and Cartoon Network on October is always the month of Scooby Doo because it's the spooky month.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, I like that.
I remember that.
That's
They
a
should do some
thing.
That's fun.
courage. That'd be spooky.
But like generally, I don't know kids these days because I guess I'm getting old. But Like for people my age, our age, it's like, we know it's a thing, and maybe there's someone throws a party, and you just take the chance to make a costume party, but nothing more than that.
Yeah.
I can assure you that there's no way anywhere here in Buenos Aires that kids are going out to the street to ask for candy. That would be suicide.
Oh hell no, that would be like murder.
Yeah.
Murder, suicide.
Yeah, so that's definitely
Holy shit,
not a
dude.
thing. Definitely, like 100%.
Yeah, people don't really do that. I don't live in the rich neighborhood, so people don't do that here. But I think like kids would drive, or like the parents would drive the kids over to the affluent neighborhoods, and they that is a thing.
Yeah,
I
like
think.
you go to like the rich
Right?
suburbs where they can like
Yeah.
afford to give the nicer candy out.
Hmm.
That's what I did
Yeah.
when I was a kid. I also grew up in a really small neighborhood.
Kids don't come to my house.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, that's good because I don't have to buy any candy.
But let's say kids did come to your house, and if you did go to a Halloween costume party and you just had to play power metal that was fitting
Ah.
with said vibes, I think you could start with the one that's been clearly
Halloween.
on your mind is Halloween.
yeah.
Mhm.
They literally have a song called Halloween, and it's like a classic power metal epic
Like 15
with a
minutes
weird ass
long.
music video.
Because you get to
Yeah.
go,
Oh, it's Halloween.
it's Halloween.
Which
And
I do
maybe
make a
also
point of listening to
the-
every year.
The remix version, the Elisa Darkmoor cover.
Oh yeah, from the Keepers of Jericho.
Yes. I
The
love
tribute
this,
album,
that
right?
version. It's so good.
Yeah, I think another like perfect pick for Halloween season would be Grail Knight's last album, Nightfall. Like half that album is like spooky themed shit.
It had that one song, the March of the Skeletons, something like that.
Yeah, March of the Skeletons is the best one, but they also have songs about Cthulhu. They got like spooky spiders. They've got a ghost town. They have Shadow of the Mountain, Grail Knight Asylum. So lots of very like spooky horror type things in that album. And the music even is very spooky compared to like Halloween, which is
Yeah.
power metal.
Yeah, so there's like the fun aspect of like Halloween spookiness, and then there's like the actual kind of creepy spooky vibes.
Yeah.
So if you had a hypothetical Halloween party, would you like play would you play stuff like Powerwolf and Timeless Miracle?
I think those could fit. Like Timeless Miracle
Just
has
like
like
werewolf
werewolves.
themed stuff, I guess.
Powerwolf is probably more fitting with like the church organ shit that they do, and it's also like catchy, and it has like Attila's vocals, which aren't your standard power metal stuff.
It's just it's called a baritone.
Exactly.
It's fine.
It's weird
How is it weird? It's deep
because it's not.
voices. Deep voices.
It's just the normal voice. I can't sing high,
It's called
so I'll just grow.
it's Fernando's voice. You just sing low.
Yeah, I think Nightwish also dabbles in spookier stuff. The
Sometimes,
song
yeah.
Ghost River comes to
They
mind,
have some eerie
and
atmospheric
some of their more
things.
recent stuff too.
I feel like the Imaginarium album can be like a whimsical kind of spooky.
Because it's like a
Like-
spooky carnival. Is kind of
Yeah,
like
it
the
just
vibe.
has like haunted carnival and like evil witches trying to trap children and eat them vibes.
Oh, that reminds
Yeah.
me. Like this is completely unrelated, but it just reminds me of a Beatles song that sounds like that, just like a carnival turning crazy around you and coming to steal your kids and eat your guts.
This is that's a very Halloween
Yeah.
themed setting you got there.
Yeah, that's when you hear the lead organ that like ding 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 ding.
Oh my god,
Yeah, they have
spooky
a-
haunted carnival.
They do have a song that goes into like the waltz beat like that.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the name. It was from Sgt. Pepper, right? What was the name of that song?
the what do you call that thing? The merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Like the fucking horse carousel shit. You know, I think those are so creepy. Like even in real life, like I don't want to touch one.
Yeah.
I bet they're all fucking haunted. And when you walk by one at night, you're just like, fuck, that thing's gonna like turn on.
Yeah, that's
and
a
it's gonna
spooky
be
moment.
Scary as hell. And that is my greatest fear, and I'm ready to run at any time. Except I can't run.
Theme parks can be spooky. It can be a real
Theme
horror
parks are
show,
so
if you know what I'm
creepy.
saying. Iced Earth has an album called Horror Show, which is all based off of like old school horror type stuff, which I think is another solid pick for this type of circumstances. If you're into Iced Earth, I think we sometimes talk shit about that. Even Blind Guardian dabbles in it with some of their older stuff. I would think would be kind of spookier.
Yeah, for sure. Trial by the Archon and Wizard's Crown was what I wrote down off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Knockers is a good one.
Yeah,
that's a weird one. I see you put Ord and Ogun down on the list. Would you call them spooky?
I don't remember putting Ord and Ogun down.
I didn't put that there.
Who put Ord and Ogun?
But they did have like, I don't know. Then their most recent release was like kind of anthemic, like Western.
Yeah,
themed.
but
it was like a horror
but
Western.
It wasn't that
vampires
spooky.
and Ghost
Yeah,
Town.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
the vibes
kind of a
fit.
stretch.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
It's kind of a little too like yes, hey.
Yeah.
Like upbeat to be super spooky. Yeah. And I guess to contrast the more like uplifting, like fun spooky stuff like Halloween and Powerwolf or whatever, I had down King Diamond.
Yeah.
King Diamond's Halloween. So it's a little more like ooh. You know? Like
You could also go for the band.
kind of like a slower themed spooky, like actual spooky, not like I'm silly spooky.
You could do the band Trick or Treat, which
Yeah.
is not spooky at all, except for the name.
Yeah, it's just
that is the stark contrast.
it's more fun than anything else.
If you want to scare the shit out of all your neighbors' children, you can put on like Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the
mood.
the origin of like spookiness in heavy metal. Like it's very slow and doomy, and you just feel like there's something gonna eat you behind you in the dark.
Yeah.
In the fucking haunted carousels.
If you want something related to King Diamond, you could do the album Sweet Hollow by the band Them. That's basically like spooky power metal King Diamond.
It's modern King Diamond. Yeah. So this sounds like a pretty lit party that we've got planned here.
Yeah, we could make a whole playlist out of this.
Yeah, it's as if we can make a whole playlist.
Yeah,
we should do that.
We should do a playlist.
Don't worry,
hey, Jamie, pull that up.
I'm on it. I'm on it, and it will be out the same time as this episode. So if you are planning a lovely spooky Halloween party, you can make it haunted carousel theme, because I think that's the creepiest fucking shit ever. And you can start off kind of creepy, and you can end it with some like Powerwolf or something that's not going to scare the crap out of your neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll probably still scare the crap out of them.
It'll probably still scare the crap out of them, because they're just going to be like, meh, heavy metal is satanic.
Oh my god, distorted guitars.
Which it sometimes is, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And then you play 666 Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden,
right?
And you bring it all back full circle.
666, yeah.
Make a whole satanic panic.
Yeah, satanic panic, of course. All right. Oh no! Do people still really think heavy metal is like satanic? I feel like that was a thing of the past.
I think that went away.
I don't think that's true. I think that went away. Like, I think it's fine now. We just keep making fun of people who are like afraid of heavy metal, but I feel like that's not really
that's not a thing anymore.
like
I think
a thing anymore. They might be like I find more people like confused that heavy metal still exists than like actually scared of it.
I think it depends. Like, you don't see it on the news anymore, but if you tell like the average passerby, like,
oh, so old,
I listen to heavy metal, it's like, oh, is it like this satanic thing? And it's like, no, it's about Lord of the Rings, and it's like, oh, that's dumb.
No, that's dumb. Or they're like, oh, I like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think I've only heard the that's noise, but not the satanic stuff that
actually most people are like they're either one, oh, heavy metal still exists, I used to like that when I was a teenager, or two, oh, is it all screaming and like
Oh, you mean Screamo?
violence. Oh yes.
Bro,
Oh yeah,
you listen to
exactly.
Screamo?
Like yes. Yes, I do.
Why
Just
not?
kidding. I mean, I had a screamo. I had like an emo screamo phase when I was in high school, but like, who didn't?
I know you didn't live if you didn't have your emo screamo phase.
Yeah, you didn't live if you didn't like dye your hair black and listen to, what is it, Senses Fail, and what's the other one? Hawthorne Heights in high school.
The two of you already have black hair, so just dye it
Yeah.
blacker.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already have black hair, so we don't even have to do anything. We just have to exist and write shitty poetry.
Oh yeah.
That sounds. Do you want to share something with the class?
No,
No.
I'm good. I'm totally like a well-adjusted human being.
Definitely.
So thankfully, we've moved past that into the future. And we've got some reviews for you on recently released power metal albums, power metal and related stuff. So,
It's mostly
what's
power
our
metal.
first power metal album? What's a better first power metal album to review than Dragonforce?
Dragonforce.
Extreme power metal.
Extreme power metal.
Extreme. So, tell us, Kyle and Fernando, what do you think about extreme power metal?
So everyone should remember our thoughts on the previous Dragonforce album. It was poop. And this one,
To sum it up quickly,
this one is not
Yes.
poop.
Not poop. Good
Not
job, guys.
poop.
We did
Wow.
it. Woo! Sound the air horns.
We made it.
that was
We
applause.
made it powerful. We fixed Dragonforce by complaining. Just a
We
bit.
fixed Dragonforce.
Wait, they had a lineup change. Yeah.
They've
Yeah,
had
but after the
a few
album.
lineup changes.
Ah, yes.
So depending on what we're reviewing. So the album, we talk about the album a bit because the single was out in our previous episode before Prog
Yeah,
Power.
the single was the single was out, and we made a lot of assumptions about the album. Like,
Yeah.
what do we think it's gonna be like? So I don't want to dwell too much on this, but did the album live up to your assumptions?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Great.
Like
we have an
my
answer.
my thoughts on this album have kind of come and gone as I've listened to it because it leaked forever ago. Not that I would ever
Yeah.
listen to a leaked album, but at first I thought like, oh my god, this is the best Mark album ever, and I think I've kind of tempered that a little bit. But then I'm listening to it again, it kind of comes back up. Like Mark Dragonforce is weird for me. It always has to like kind of sit for a bit before I kind of see what's going on with the songs. This album has a lot of variety on it, at least by Dragonforce standards. So like you have your straightforward shredding, fast power metal, yay, extreme, whatever. But there's also like some of the like almost like 80s like cock rock type of stuff in here as well. You have some of the slower songs, like Last Dragonborn has this like Japanese influence in it, but it's about Skyrim. I don't know. It's weird. I don't really know what to think about
Yeah,
this
there's
album.
like the pentatonic scale or whatever
Yeah.
that makes a music sound. I don't know. This is probably super racist, but like Asian-y.
Asian-y.
Hey, I can say that. Okay, I can say that.
Okay.
I'm exempt. I
Like-
can. Self-racism is okay.
The last regular song, Remembrance Day, has like bagpipes and shit in it.
I'd say that Remembrance Day,
Yeah.
like the album overall is better than the previous one, but Remembrance Day is probably the worst song Dragonforce has ever put out.
It's
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
feel
I don't
like
know
this
how to
was
feel about
this was an attempt at like a, I don't know, like a epic folksy track by Dragonforce, which is kind of weird.
It was a no. Please
There was an attempt.
don't do that.
I think the best song
Please don't do
is
that.
probably the cover of My Heart Will Go On. Like I really enjoyed that. Maybe because it's not actually a Dragonforce song.
That came out exactly as every one of us was expecting it to be, and that's what it needed to be. So that was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was a really cool interpretation of that song.
Yeah, Dragonforce seems to do well with like covers and bonus tracks.
The covers are recently new though. Did they have like 4 covers max?
Yeah, they started
Yeah.
it on
Yeah, what Ring of
Maximum
Fire?
Load, yeah.
Ring of Fire was the first, and then they have the Death cover. This one, and I think there was some other more. I don't remember now. It was all bonus tracks.
I hope they
Um,
keep going with that.
Yeah. Though thinking about it, like They played at TwitchCon because Herman Lee is now a big Twitch streaming star.
He's now,
apparently.
he's like deep into the Twitch realm, which is like a foreign fucking world to me now.
Yeah, and you think like we know streaming is like the new thing, so it's the kids are on that stuff. The younger people,
the kids. God, back in my day, I used to use Twitch to watch Koreans play StarCraft, and that was normal. I don't even know what Twitch is for nowadays.
Fortnite,
I guess. God, I'm such an old geezer.
And there's also the thing that I was looking at watching a video of they playing TwitchCon, and they were playing My Heart Will Go On, and that's when it hit me. Like, probably...
Were the kids into it?
Yeah, like 80% of the audience they had there probably never even saw Titanic.
Right? Oh my God, they're probably all born in like 2001 or some shit.
Yeah. Like...
I've never seen Titanic.
Oh
Damn.
God, you're one of them.
Well, I never felt the need to because it's like I know what happens.
Well,
11 Oscars.
You do now.
You do now, yeah.
Back in my day, Titanic was on 2 VHS.
Yeah, because it was so damn long.
Because it was so long. Did you have those 2 VHS tapes too? God.
Well,
that's hilarious.
And that's the thing. Maybe there was a little disconnect there because, we all know My Heart Will Go On. People our age, which we will not disclose anymore. And
we're not that old. Oh my God.
But probably a lot of the kids that maybe started following Dragonforce because of Herman's streaming don't know this song at all. So they don't have that connection. So
you think they were probably like, fuck yeah, near, far, wherever you are. And they're like, this is a badass fucking song. But it's like from Titanic.
It's like, no, it's probably like missing that we love this track and we were looking forward to it because we know
of the
it.
Nostalgia factor.
We already knew the song, and probably a lot of people don't know it past Dragonforce, so they don't see the like Dragonforce making a fast-paced power metal version of a ballad.
Of like a ballad.
They are missing that.
Ballad.
Yeah, they're missing that level of enjoyment probably.
So they're not like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, they're just regular. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is just a nice song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from the other songs,
this is true.
Cosmic Power of the Infinite Shred Machine. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Highway to Oblivion is okay. The intro is a bit tacky, but the song is cool. And then the others, they have moments that are really cool. There are some fresh new things in there, a lot of rehash from old songs like Highway to Oblivion had or Shred Machine. I don't remember now, but there was one of the songs, and I think I mentioned it was one of the singles in the other episode. It had a couple sections copied from old Dragonforce songs.
Highway to Oblivion. Yeah, you said.
I think that was Oblivion.
It was a new thing for them, but there's also new stuff in the album, so that's okay. And Remembrance Day is an awful song, and it will forever be skipped.
Yeah, I think my favorite of the album is actually Razorblade Meltdown. To me, it's the most reminiscent of like older Dragonforce in terms of being like, I think something that the more recent Dragonforce, basically the Mark stuff, has been missing is this certain like, I don't know, like epic over the topness that they used to get a lot through ZP Thart's voice. The keyboards, I think, have also sort of changed their approach on Dragonforce recently as well. Yeah, they don't really have Vadim anymore. The new guy whose name I'm blinking on just doesn't have the same influence, I think, that
he's not even a permanent member. He was just for recording the album. Because yes, Vadim is not with them anymore, and in this album the keyboards were recorded by Cohen Jansen, and there was also backing vocals by other people and whatever, but it's like you can't really hear them again like in the old version of
I thought the group vocals is like a Dragonforce thing. It's like a signature whatever. It's like a prominent Dragonforce thing.
Yeah, I think it's there a little bit on some of the songs, but not as much as in the older Dragonforce.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the scenes and stuff, like this is the first album that has orchestral thingies, full-on orchestral backings in some songs, actually, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Kind of weird.
I'm not sure really fits.
Kinda
Dragonforce.
unnecessary.
It doesn't fit their style, I think. I like Dragonforce throughout the years mainly because they stuck with the 2 guitars and 1 keyboard player playing everything. And when they played live, they never used backing tracks. I don't know what they're doing right now because I only checked like that one video of one song in TwitchCon, but they always played everything live by the 3 of them, and they made parts that made sense to be played like that. And that's something that was always really cool. And going the full orchestral backing thingy, I don't think fits them.
No, not at all.
Yeah, kind of not into it. Okay, I feel like we've said enough about this album. So, improvement from Reaching into Infinity, has signature Dragonforce sound.
Not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
Yeah,
not dead.
Non RIP. A little bit innovative, but still mostly the same.
The thing is, I think it's it's the non-innovative stuff that's probably the best. Which is kind of sad.
I feel like, okay, I don't know.
know.
This could be a whole conversation
Yeah.
in its own, but like, is it? I don't know. I think the trend among power metal is to include all the orchestral backings,
Yeah.
but maybe sometimes it's okay to not follow the trend.
Did they need like weird folk songs on here? I don't know.
know.
They tried
That's
it.
weird.
And I guess props for that.
Eh.
Mhm. They can try other
Okay,
things.
I think that just sums up my review of this album. Not very extreme, I guess.
Yeah, the potential
it
is,
does seem
is
weird.
not. Yeah. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Keep going, Dragonforce. Please
Yeah,
do
maybe
something
it's
else.
worth a listen.
You know- You should carry on.
Carry on. Okay, so I can't think of a good like transition to a carry on pun. So we're just gonna talk about another Force album. So Twilight Force, Dawn of the Dragon Star.
You could have had a more forced transition there.
Twilight Force, Dawn of the Dragon Star. Is that better?
There you go.
Okay. I mean, it's not very forceful. I feel like Twilight Force is more Twilight than Force.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we all agree on that. For sure.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this album?
You know, I was,
so like, I mean, how many albums can you make with like twinkle twinkle like fucking sound?
At
and,
least
like, a
3.
dragon on
At
the
least
album
3.
cover.
At least 3.
Apparently.
You know, I was skeptical going into this album, but it really won me over. Like after all the drama, like with Christian and like their keyboardists and all this shenanigans, I'm like, all right, what's this album gonna be? And it's twinkly as hell, really epic, like catchy, inspiring power metal. Just don't be looking for a guitar in here unless it's a solo.
What's a guitar?
Yeah, please, people, stop complaining about that. It won't show up there no matter how much you complain. That's not the idea.
I know. It's not the idea.
I mean, that's not the point of
Yeah.
Twilight Force. The point of Twilight Force is twinkles and orchestras and soaring vocals.
Yeah. Well, speaking of vocals, what did you guys think of Conti on this album?
He has a warmer voice than their previous vocalist Christian, who we've talked to on our show. But I thought that he has a warmer, a deeper voice, but it gives it a very fantasy vibe. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it took some getting used to for me, but I think he really fits.
I like it.
I like Conti,
Yeah.
but I don't think he was the best fit for this kind of music. I think they could have worked a bit better on making the music fit more with his vocal style, and then that would have been an overall stronger album.
Do you think the music seems like it's intended for Christian?
Yes, or for that style of voice, because it's nothing.
Oh, you mean
like the style of voice.
a bright projected voice?
Yes. Yes, it's like they just everything clearly here is new and everything, but they just wrote a Twilight Force album, and the vocalist they have now is very different to what they had before.
Oh yeah.
And they
So
should
different.
accommodate that a bit just to make it's not that it's bad, it's that it could have been much more better. And I hope that if they stick together and make more new music later, this will improve. to make for an even better album. But it's still
Yeah,
cool stuff.
switching vocalists is difficult for bands.
Mhm.
It usually takes an album to get adjusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the second album with a new singer is probably like the better one.
It's probably the better one.
for sure.
But
Like
I'm not saying it's bad. I like it. I like Conti. I like a couple of songs. I'm not a fan of everything, but this can be much better for sure. That's what I'm saying.
I think Conti's vocals has this like Italian charm to it. That's why it makes it sound very fantasy like, and
Yeah,
I do
for sure.
enjoy him in this album. I'm not the biggest Twilight Force fan. I just listen to it out of curiosity. This style of music is a little difficult to listen to sometimes because I don't know. It's very bright and uplifting, but at the same time, like I don't always want to be listening to an
it's
orchestra.
way too happy for you. But
Maybe in another time in another place.
But in the realm of twinkly, happy, symphonic power metal, I think it does a pretty darn good job. Like
Yeah,
Conti has that like dramatic
does the
Italian
thing
power metal thing.
Yeah, it does the thing it was promised. So if you are into symphonic power metal and you're into high fantasy themes,
Yeah,
this is the album.
and if
for
you're a
you.
fan of Twilight Force, I think you'll be just happy with this album.
In particular, Twilight Force's second album, The Heroes of Mighty Magic, the one with the purple dragon.
Yeah, it's closer to
Not
the
Red
Purple
Dragon.
Dragon than it is to the Red Dragon.
To
Yeah.
Red Dragon. Yeah.
They don't get album names anymore. It's just which color
Yeah,
dragon
I don't know. I
is it?
can't remember the fucking first album's name. Did it even have a name?
Tales
Tales of Ancient Prophecy.
Tales of Ancient Prophecy.
Actually, there was some really cool like demo versions on the Spotify copy of this album of Enchanted Dragon of Wisdom and Forest of Destiny. It says 2007 demo. I enjoyed these the most out of the whole album. It's like a gritty like power metal.
Well, it was the least
sound.
twinkly.
Yeah, it's the least
operatic
twinkly
stuff.
ones. Yeah.
I want to point out a few of my favorite songs on the album. One being Winds of Wisdom, which to me is just like stupidly catchy during the chorus. Like I really like that one. I thought Hydra was another really cool song. It's more of like a dramatic take of like, oh, we're on a ship and there's a Hydra attacking us. I really like that
Cool.
one.
I too enjoy being attacked by Hydra.
Don't you love being attacked by Hydras?
Yeah, it's my hobby.
The best song on the album is, in my mind, the epic last one, Blade of Immortal Steel.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
That's the one
like-
that I saved.
this is the one that I don't think Twilight Force deserves to have a song this good. But but damn it,
Poor lads.
they did it.
Yeah, it's
Like-
a very cool song.
It starts with this great piano stuff. It's got this really great. I know. Stella, can you say that this sounds Asian-y for me?
Okay. I guess it sounds Asian-y. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I
like the
said it.
guitar kind of sounds like what you said, and not me.
This is the only reason you guys keep me around,
Our tokenism.
right? It's okay. We can make awkward Asian jokes. We can make awkward like Latino jokes.
And awkward white guy jokes.
And we can make awkward white guy jokes. Yeah, we're covered. We got this.
We
Dude,
got
that's
this.
everything.
Everything.
Oh man, we're
Yeah.
gonna get so canceled.
I know we're gonna get fucking canceled. R.I.P. Powerful.
Well, guys, it's been fun. We're packing it up. This Blade of Immortal Steel wasn't so immortal after all.
Yeah.
Props to Twilight Force for putting out an album that I like and making some good songs.
Yeah. I'd say even if this isn't my like jam, it's a cool album to listen to.
I think it was earlier this year. Andrew said that he was like trying to pick what would be the best twinkle metal album of the year, the best twink metal,
Oh
if
my
you will.
God. I can't stand that term.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it, but like
This-
it shouldn't be a subgenre.
Is this twink metal of the year? It might be.
We shouldn't use that word.
I hate that as a descriptor.
Dude, album of the year episode, twink metal. That's an award.
Okay.
Oh man, I was so full of good ideas
Oh my
today.
gosh. All right. Before we like accidentally say something even worse, yeah. So any last thoughts on Twilight Force, Dawn of the Dragon Star?
I think I'm happy with that. Oh, random thought. The song Queen of Eternity starts with a guitar riff, and it sounds weird as hell to hear a guitar riff. It's,
Oh my god, a guitar riff
it's only
in
for like 10
a
seconds,
metal song.
and then it goes away. And you don't.
Yeah,
don't
I thought
be scared,
this was gonna be a
kids.
metal song. It fucking tricked me.
Don't be scared. It goes away.
Oh my god. Freaking tricked me. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, guitar. Wait, I'm listening to Twilight Force. JK, it's gone.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Yeah. So our next album that we're going to talk about has, I would say, even less guitars.
I haven't listened to the second one at all. This is all you guys.
Okay. Baby Metal Galaxy. I am so sorry, dear listener, but we're going to review this.
The third album by Baby Metal.
Yeah. So, for those of you for somehow not in the know, Baby Metal is I don't know what they're called. They're like an idol group.
Yeah, an idol group.
From Japan?
That's the term.
Yeah. They're a metal themed idol group, but yeah, emphasize metal themed and emphasize idol group. I don't really think that they're really metal. But anyway, their newest release, Metal Galaxy. What do you think?
I think we have, as usual, a lot of songs based on different stuff. And so there's some that you will like, some that you will not like. And they probably aim at different subgenres of metal. And in this one, we have a couple ones that go way outside of the metal influence. And it's cool, actually. I like what they did. But a lot of people will complain that, besides saying that it's not metal because it's girls singing from Japan and it's weeb shit and whatever, you might also complain that it's not metal enough.
Girls singing from Japan is actually very metal. Like there's a big there's a big all-female metal band presence in Japan. Yeah. So just because there's a bunch of girls singing, that doesn't necessarily like make it not metal. But this is I would say this Baby Metal album is more Galaxy than metal.
Probably
more Galaxy than metal.
Yeah, it's called Metal Galaxy. It's
Elevator Girl,
it should
Shanty, and these songs that are even Papaya.
The guests on this album are so fucking weird.
Yeah,
like,
it's all over the place.
Yeah. So I turned on the Joachim Broden song just because it's like, oh, I wonder what that's like. And I don't know how to describe this.
I do not understand this at all. So Joachim Broden from Sabaton. There's bagpipes. It sounds like those sounds like a folk dance. It sounds like I want to just like cross my arms and do like the dance thing, like the hopping leg dance thing.
Where's Korpiklani when you need them?
Yeah. And then Joachim is doing like these growly things, like to Japanese little kids singing.
Don't say it like that.
It's it's odd. I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's odd is a good way to describe it.
How would you describe it in a word that's not odd?
It's the Galaxy
and it goes,
in metal form with Japanese girls singing.
Yeah, that's kind of it. And another guest that many people will recognize is Alisa Whiteglues on a track called Distortion.
Distortion is a cool track, and I have heard it before. Oh, I heard the live version. That's what I never identified.
Yeah. So Alisa Whiteglues is vocalist of Arch Enemy, mellow death band, and formerly of The Agonist, kind of a metalcore band.
Speaking of drama,
and she's she does harsh vocals. So this one sounds like
it starts off really metal, but then it gets almost like techno-y.
Well, yeah.
This is like a song that would be on like Stepmania or DDR, but it would be like really hard.
Yeah, and it probably is in Japan because
it probably is.
When I went to Japan in 2016, there were a couple of rhythm games that had baby metal songs, and I tried on one of the drums games.
The drum one is so hard.
Yeah, and it had Road of Resistance, and it was impossible to play. Such a hard song.
As expected.
Well, it's like a Dragonforce thing, isn't it?
But it's actually written by the baby metal producers. So the Japanese people write better Dragonforce than Dragonforce currently.
Nice.
And related to that, in this new album, the power metal song that we have, it's cool.
Which one is that? Arcadia?
Arcadia,
right?
yes.
Arcadia, yeah.
I hope it is Arcadia.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It
So
is.
in Arcadia, it's a really cool power metal song, but there's like 5 moments of the song that are just carbon copies of Road of Resistance, and that makes me sad because it could have been a fully fresh new power metal song, but it's like just reusing a lot of the things that made Road of Resistance work, and that diminishes the impact of this song because it's less new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just fired up Arcadia, and this does sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm not like super familiar with Road of Resistance, but I do. This was like, I think this was one of the only tracks I enjoyed. I also, this isn't power metal at all, but I kind of like Elevator Girl for some reason.
Oh, I really like Elevator Girl. It's a really good song.
I heard this and I was like, okay, maybe I might enjoy this album. And then the further I moved along, the more weirded out I got.
Because Elevator Girl, because it's like this, Baby Metal album so far, and this, most of the free, it's just a collection of random songs. There's no actual cohesion.
Yeah, I was like, there's no theme or whatever. Like, Elevator Girl is a really catchy, like, rock song or whatever. I really like the vocal performance on there. And the one after that was like Shanti Shanti.
Yeah.
Which is like Baby Metal does Bollywood and Japanese.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
It seems like they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and then throwing idol girls on top of it.
Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. It was Elevator Girl, Shanti Shanti, like Bollywood song. And then after that, it's Joachim Broden, like doing a polka song. And then you're just
That's
like,
a fun
what's
sentence.
happening? And then you're like, what's happening to my life?
Yeah.
And then there's this one, the song after Joachim's track has like a snap track, you know, like, I'm trying to snap in front of my mic. It's not working. You know, like those snap tracks in like pop songs. It's weird. Confused. All right. So to wrap up the review of this album, my review is that it's more galaxy than metal, and I am spinning out of control in confusion. What's your review?
I think you should check out the different songs, see which ones you like, and save those and only listen to those songs and discard the rest.
Yeah,
wonderful.
I've listened to about a minute of it, just clicking the songs that you mentioned during this review. I give it a what the fuck out of 10, and basically concur with Fernando. Just pick like the style, like the 2 songs that work for you based out of this, hodgepodge here.
Yeah, very confusing. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of confusing,
our review,
and what the fuck?
Our review section is very confusing and what the fuck this fucking month. Okay.
And it's going to get worse.
Sonata Arctica or Sonata Arctica Talvio.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
We should have checked. I have
more
no
like
idea.
Talvi, yo, Tony, what the fuck is going on, bro? Are you okay? Oh, man.
You okay, bro? Okay. So, first impressions. Go. What kind of first impression is that?
What kind of album is this?
You know when you send the document to the printer and it just comes out blank because you're out of ink? That's my first impression.
Oh. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking deep.
You know that music video where Tony is just like sitting in the chair and he looks really bored and there's some lights in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this album.
I see. Okay, I actually wanted to like this album because we listened to it in the Prog Powerhouse way back when. And I actually thought it sounded okay. I was like, this is a pleasant prog rock album. It has audible bass, which is cool. Like you can hear a lot of really cool bass lines. But I think what kind of, the more I listen to it, the more I realize like the pacing is just really non-existent.
It's just boring.
And I'm not sure what inspires somebody to write this album.
The lack of inspiration.
A lack of inspiration, yeah.
The absence of inspiration.
I think the only song I like on it is the instrumental because it sounds like things are actually happening.
Oh, Ismos got good reactors.
Yeah, what the hell is that name?
Oh, there's a story.
Is this based off of like folklore or something? Yeah, this was a really cool instrumental.
And the story behind the title was something like it involves bad English. I don't remember now, but I remember that it was a nice story. But man, the rest. Mm.
Yeah, it's like every song just kind of plods along. I had so little interest listening to this. Like, I don't want to be like overly cynical going into this. You know, Sonata Arctica have a lot of history, but in recent years, like they made the 9th hour and then they make this. You know, that's 2 in a row.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love ballads, and I am okay with things not being power metal. Like, I like all kinds of music, but I gave this album a chance. I appreciate I appreciate some of the instrumentation. Like, the bass lines were cool, but there just wasn't that much substance to the songs.
Again, this is not based on genre.
Yeah.
It's okay if Sonata doesn't want to play power metal anymore. That's cool.
Yeah, that is
Please
totally
do
fine.
whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Is this making you happy? Are you okay?
Are you happy now, Tony?
This is like a very concerned review.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, the vibe that I'm getting out in this virtual room is a vibe of worry and the need to check on our friends.
yeah.
Make sure everyone's
I have a
doing
little
okay.
less understanding than I would like.
Yeah,
There's a
and-
song on this album towards the end called "The Raven Still Flies," and I remember when I was listening to it, I was just
Does it
thinking,
fly?
"Does it still
Does
fly?" It really doesn't sound like it does.
Yeah, and I don't know who failed the most.
I don't know. Was it us?
That's
Was it
another,
them?
Yeah, was it us? I don't know. Oh my god, these songs are so depressing. I'm just like fucking bummed now.
Just cold.
Oh my god, stop it. It's just a whirlwind of like feelings or lack thereof.
You know, they stormed the Armada with Camelot and Battle Beast recently. And
Oh, they did.
it was-
How did you wait? Did you go to that?
I did. I
did?
met
Oh.
people from the Discord there.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You took a selfie
Yeah.
with Discord people.
Yeah, nice people. Shout outs to
Yeah.
them.
Okay. How was their set list? How's their performance?
Okay, so it starts with Battle Beast.
Yeah.
You know, this is like the 3rd time I've seen them live. They're tons of fun.
Dude, Battle Beast Live
They're
is
great.
awesome. I love Battle Beast.
Yeah. Like, my only real complaint about Battle Beast Live is that all of their songs are like the same like rhythm, and it's like, hey, hey, hey. And though it's fun and all, but I could go for like a bit of variety. But whatever. Whatever.
No, that's what you get.
I will take the same Battle Beast song over and over again
They are really
And
good at that song.
instead of Sonata Arctica with their extremely, extremely boring set list. There was like no energy. Like, I saw Sonata Arctica on their 9th hour tour, and they played a
Ooh.
couple of old songs, even on the new stuff. Like, Tony at least like jumped around the stage and had energy. This one was just like, it seemed like no one wanted to be there. The crowd was so bored. When they
no one wants to be there. That's so sad.
when they finally played the like intro piano to Full Moon, the crowd cheered so much. It's like, oh, thank God. Yeah. And I think that's literally the only song not from like the last like 2 albums on that set list.
So I just looked up the set list now. It's A Little Less Understanding, Closer to an Animal, Cold, Storm the Armada, X Marks the Spot, Who Failed the Most, Full Moon, and Life as the closer.
Why is Life the closer?
I don't know.
Oh God.
I'm confused.
Er.
Wow. Okay. So compared to the very first time I saw Sonata Arctica in 2007,
Yeah, what did they play
is
then?
quite a difference. So in 2007, what was happening in Sonata Arctica land? I believe Unia just came out, right? No, Unia was what year?
I think that was
I don't know.
2006, maybe.
Yeah, anyway, so that was the first tour they played White Pearl Black Oceans live.
Ah, fuck.
And yeah, it was awesome. I also saw them. I saw Sonata Arctica like 5 times, like TBH. So I saw them when Days of Grace just dropped, and they were starting to go off on an ultra prog like path, but they still played a lot of the classics. And back then they still closed with The Cage, which is badass.
Yeah, I'm never gonna hear The Cage, probably.
You're never gonna hear The Cage. Oh my god, it's so fucking cool. And then I also saw them on their Ecliptica like something year anniversary tour on like a Tuesday night in Anaheim. That one was super badass. It was just like all like banger, fast power metal songs. I remember like the crowd was small but hyped. And those are the best shows.
For sure.
Yeah.
This crowd was not hyped.
So I am just glad that I was able to see them at that stage. So any Sonata fans, and if you see them live and you're like, this is kind of weird, it wasn't always that way.
Yeah, after the show, like the random people walking by be like, what the fuck was that Sonata Arctica set list? Be
Oh
like,
my
right?
gosh, that's so sad. Ugh,
Camelot was great though. Camelot puts on a great show. So
cool.
like I think they're still touring the East Coast right now.
Yeah, I think they're still on tour.
Yeah, check them out for that. Shout out to Battle Beast for doing an impromptu acoustic set when their drummer like broke his wrist.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, their set was acoustic?
No.
Like the whole show?
Just like yesterday. Go if you check on Reddit, there's a couple videos of it.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Damn.
cool. I'm gonna check that out later. And hope the drummer gets well soon. That sounds really painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sonata Arctica, like if they want to make whatever this music is, that's fine. I feel like still using the Sonata Arctica name and touring with power metal bands just makes it really confusing.
Okay. Wow, we've had such a confusing set of reviews today.
Indeed.
I like can't even right now.
Let's listen to something good to close it out.
Yeah. Yeah, let's listen to some normal, like, fucking power metal. Okay, so Vision Divine has a album that's going to be out by the time this episode is out. It's called When All the Heroes Are Dead. And we're able to listen to it because we got a promo copy. Unfortunately, the promo copy is missing the X Japan cover, Rusty Nail. I really want to hear that.
Want to hear that too.
I want to hear that so badly.
Please.
Okay, so yeah, please be good.
Please be good. Have the drum
Please
solo
be
and the
good.
piano solo and everything in
Oh my
place.
The rest of this album is really good, so that bodes well.
Yeah, actually, it started off really strongly. I thought the 26th Machine was like a shout out to their previous albums, 25th Hour and The Perfect Machine, and it has a really cool, like, powerful chorus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this definitely opened well. I love this track.
26 Machine is one of the best songs on the album,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it stands out as one of the like more memorable like Vision Divine songs.
I'm not super familiar with older Vision Divine. I think I've listened to Stream of Consciousness because that's like their best one.
Yeah, I know Biscuit has also really gotten into Vision Divine lately because I kept fucking telling him to listen to it. So you're next.
I tried some of their Fabio stuff and I wasn't super into that.
Okay. We're gonna talk. We'll talk later.
Yeah, I've done Stream of Consciousness. I like that one.
Okay, you're gonna do 25th Hour and Perfect Machine next, but
Gotcha.
We'll work on your homework assignment.
Homework
later,
assignments. Oh boy.
Yeah. It's a must listen. Like, Gates' household is obsessed with Vision Divine. It's not just me. It's my entire household,
Nice.
which is like 2 people. But anyway, okay. 3 Men Walk on the Moon was their
That was a single.
second.
That was a single,
there was like
yeah.
that was a single. What did you guys think about that one?
I really like that one too.
It was cool. I like it.
It's not as fast, but I think it's a really cool song.
It's a good mid tempo. Like that's what you would expect track 3 to be, I guess.
Yeah, because
And
like,
it was track 3.
you have the weird intro thing, you have the banger to sucker you in, and then you can play around a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's normie enough to make into a music video.
Yeah, I guess. It was okay. It wasn't like, oh my god, it's changed my life.
I like
or
the
anything.
guitar melody, like the. There's lots of like really good melodies on this album.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think the other track that's really stood out to me is, other than like the title track, Now That All the Heroes
The
Are
title
Dead.
track has some really good dueling guitars and keyboards in the solo. That stood out to me when I was listening to it.
For sure. I also I don't know what King of the Sky is themed off of, but I really like that one as well.
That's a cool one because it's a faster song, and at the beginning it's like a plane like engine turning on, but they also have like the drum kind of going in time with it. It was a really nice little touch that I liked.
Yeah.
And it has like a
I don't know
big
what the
scream
theme
in
was,
it
though.
too. And this is a huge vocal showcase of an album.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think the more I think about it, like I just kept. I don't know. I don't want to compare this to the previous Vision Divine releases because they had a string of like 3 ridiculously good albums. Like the whole string from Stream of Consciousness to what is it, Perfect Machine, and then 25th Hour. Those are like golden era golden era status.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's our meme or like our community's meme, but yeah, those are like mandatory homework assignment for all power metal fans.
Yeah, without the baggage of the old albums, I really, really enjoyed this one.
Without the baggage of the old albums, and I feel like I really do appreciate this album. I think this captures more of the Vision Divine, like kind of the Vision Divine style more than like more than Destination and 9 Degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because like it's I don't like to use the word proggy, but I don't know how else to
It is a
say
little
it.
bit.
Yeah. So I just like that you can hear a lot of like guitar melodies on top of the strong vocal performance.
And the keys don't slouch in this album either.
No, I think there's a lot of dueling guitar keyboard stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like really well written melodic choruses that aren't like chanty or whatever. They're just like really well done vocal melodies.
They are serving the song and not the live show.
Yeah, that's a good way
They're
to put
absolutely
it.
serving this. Yeah, I like that. I like the 300 song for some reason. I hate the weird gimmicky chanty part. I think that needs to like
It's a good
go
song.
away. But the song itself is quite good.
Nice.
They also have a song called Fall from Grace because you're not a power metal band without a song called Fall from Grace.
Unless you have a song called Fall from Grace. Yeah, obviously. Although I think one thing that kind of made me a little like bummed at first was I thought the best song was still Angel of Revenge.
Oh yeah. Angel of Revenge is
Oh
still
my
the best.
god, Angel of Revenge is just so good. I was just like, okay, this album is cool. Our promo copy had Angel of Revenge as the last track instead of Rusty Nail, and I was just like, god damn it, I just wish Angel of Revenge wasn't the best song on this album.
Yeah, like when Angel of Revenge comes on at the end, I think it is noticeably better.
I know.
Like,
I was just like,
I don't
this
think
is so
I think
well
part of it's because
written.
the actual last song is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, the actual I don't know if this is like a Olaf Thorson thing, but he totally did this on the latest Labyrinth release too, where the last song is like all atmospheric.
It has this like some
And there's-
Italian spoken
Yeah, it
word
has
at
like
the
a really
end.
dramatic like Italian poetry that I don't understand.
It might have to tie in with like the album's concept, which is about like old heroes
Yeah, it
and
was
stuff.
it was a really good like spoken word delivery though. I think it sounds really cool. I think Italian sounds very cool.
It's
But
Italians and power metal
song
go
will-
together quite well. It's like wine and
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, it sounds so poetic.
We've been on a lot of Italian kick
But
this year.
in terms of album closers go, yeah, we do talk about like Italian music a lot. I mean, it's as if we had an entire episode on Italian power metal.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for like people to hear this album. I think the lineup is in a good place right now. They have a strong drummer and a strong vocalist, and they kind of have regained the sound of their quote unquote golden era.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't make this album called like Resurrection or Rebirth. Or, like it seems like that's what a lot of metal bands do after
it
they
has
have a lineup
rebirth and
change.
resurrection vibes. I don't know. Maybe that's been maybe Fabio took that took that in the Turilli Leone Rhapsody.
Perhaps.
What's the little tagline of that album?
Rebirth and
Rebirth
evolution.
and evolution. Yeah, rebirth and resurrect. No, God, overused words. Yeah, every power metal album needs a rebirth album, and this might be it.
Nice.
Yeah, so Vision Divine, they're looking pretty divine.
Yeah. Divinely rebirthing. So that's going to be out by the time this episode comes out. So please
Go and listen to it.
to that.
A hot new release.
Mhm.
Check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so the rest of the albums that we're reviewing, I don't really care.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff has
Go.
come out in the last couple months since we did like a regular episode.
This is Kyle's corner.
Yeah, so we're gonna do Kyle's corner.
Kyle's corner.
First up,
go.
Elven King, Reader of the Runes Divination, Italian powery folky metal band, who's to me is kind of a mixed bag in terms of quality. This album had like 2 songs I thought were okay. I think it was the first 2, and then it just got boring. But at least it wasn't as bad as the last one. So, what are you gonna do? Next up, Freedom Call, METAL. With that's how you spell metal, kids.
Does that stand for anything? I never figured it out.
Yeah, we said musically entering total ass land. We already figured this out.
Wow. Oh, no, I feel like I'm really gullible because I like believed you for a second there, but
Oh well, I don't think they ever said anything official. I think they're just being silly.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
I listened to this album once.
Never again.
I didn't hate it, and I don't remember anything else from it. And I liked Masters of Light, but
Yeah, I remember Masters of Light being quite enjoyable.
yeah, metal just didn't. Or I don't know. How do I say this? I don't want to call it metal. That sounds dumb.
I'm just gonna call it metal. I don't want to spell it either. That sounds even stupider.
I'll just call it M. You know, M. It's an okay album.
You can just call it M.
It's instead of musically entering total assland, it's like mediocre entry
Mediocre existence
till another legendary album like Beyond.
Another legendary.
I don't know. I'll
All
work
right,
on that
okay.
one. I'm running out of being
Okay,
clever.
yeah.
We've been recording for a little while.
We have.
Next up, Hammerfall released a new album, as they are prone to do. This one was called Dominion. I listened to it. It was fine. There was one song I thought was really good that I don't remember the name of, and I'm going to look up right now because I am professional.
Professional.
I think it was the title track, or maybe it was the opening. It was one of those first couple songs. But anyway, if you're a fan of the thing that Hammerfall's been doing for like 30 years, you'll probably
The one Hammerfall song.
yeah, that one. You'll probably like Dominion.
It goes like Hearts on Fire, Hearts on Fire.
No, it's not.
Is that the one? That's a different song? Okay, cool. I guess they have 2 songs then. Okay. Equilibrium?
Oh,
You are like
no.
Equilibrium #1 fan. What do you think about whatever they've
So
made?
Equilibrium, not power metal. They're a folk metal band from Germany, and they have some of the best folk metal out there. Like their second album, Sagas, is like 10 out of 10, one of my favorites of all time. And their first like 4 albums are all pretty darn good. But in recent years, they're starting to get weird. They're starting to get real weird.
Weird? What happened?
Well, like they've been a lot less focused. Their newest album is called Renegades, and just from like looking at the album art compared to literally all the other album art, it's just like something weird's going on. What happened to these guys? But the thing is, like, they haven't really had big lineup changes. Like they had the same main songwriter dude. They changed vocals after like the second album, but they saw good ones after that. But now they're like ditched the folk stuff to go more into this like industrial, like they have like rap in one of the songs. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. It's like, you know how Sonata Arctica, their first 4 albums are like legendary essentials of the genre, and now
Yes.
these days people are like, what the hell? That's exactly Equilibrium, like except with folk metal, like legendary bands. But now it's like, what the hell's going on? That's exactly how I feel. Like I was so like hopeful that like their last album was kind of just okay. I was really wanting them to bring it back, but now they just took a huge dive off the cliff, and I'm just like, please don't do this to me.
They probably caught whatever Sonata Arctica
Yeah,
caught.
they caught the Sonata Arctica bug. I don't know what the like name for that's gonna turn out to be, but no.
Sonata Arcticitis.
Sonata Arcticitis has claimed another victim.
Oh God. Oh,
I'm rolling
we're
with
such
it.
haters. I'm sure they're lovely people. I just feel like bad that we're being so negative.
Well, I'll be a bit more positive. Windrose, the dwarf band, recently had a new
The
album.
dwarf band, that's what they're called now.
That's their whole shtick.
It is. They're very committed to their theme, and I applaud them for that.
When their two singles are a meme song from Minecraft about being a dwarf digging a hole and a song literally called Drunken Dwarves, I think it's okay for them to be known as the dwarf
They're
band.
so committed. I love it.
You know, everyone needs a gimmick, right? Whether it's pirates or tanks or unicorns or dwarves. There you go.
Okay.
It's pretty solid power folk metal. I need to give it more listens to really have like a nuanced opinion on it. But if you're into that,
they've got sick tracks like Mine. There and Back Again. I guess hobbits are short.
It's specifically like Tolkien, the Hobbit themed dwarves.
Oh yeah, like hobbits traveling with the
lots
dwarves,
of Erebor type shit.
King Under the Mountain. This is so dwarven,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these guys they don't fuck around. They do actually, memes aside, have pretty solid power folk metal. They're Italian. They know what they're doing.
That's good. Yeah, cool. And yeah, so I think that's all for Kyle's Corner. So I guess that's all for the reviews on our episode. I was gonna talk a little bit about Insomnium after the Sonata Arctica section because I totally forgot to do it. But so for anyone who's missing Yanni is now playing guitar in Insomnium, who are a Finnish melodic death metal band. And I think they just released Album of the Year.
Whoa.
For me. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, so October 4, Heart Like a Grave was out. And I'd say this is really fucking good. You guys have to listen to it if you haven't already.
Okay.
It has a lot of like black metal elements and it's very gritty. And I don't know if this is Yanni's contribution or if this is their plan, but there's like a lot of really melodic guitar riffs. Yanni does a bunch of clean vocals in it as well. And it's mostly harsh vocals. He only has clean vocals in like 2 tracks, like Valediction and Bells They Toll. But yeah, this is a concept album. And it flows really well. Like it flows really well. It just starts off really melodic. You go on like a fucking deep dark journey into some Finnish forest or whatever. And then you end with like a folky instrumental. The title track, Heart Like a Grave, didn't sound that great as a single, but when it concludes the whole album, it like hits you like a fucking boulder. Like it's so dark and heavy.
Nice.
But yeah, possible album of the year for me.
Damn.
It's not power metal by any means. Yeah, I know.
Very
it's
tangentially
like,
related to power metal.
Surprise. I know, but we had a lot of tangentially related things. And I feel like, it's October, Spooktober, it's almost Halloween. Like, what the fuck are you doing listening to Twilight Forest? Go listen to some Insomnia.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Listen to
go hang out in your local dark forest and listen to some
listen to a band that disappoints you, and there you go. It makes you afraid that they're never going to be as good as they once were. That's spooky.
Oh yeah, that's pretty spooky. What if I can never hear good music ever again? What a scary thought.
What if I never get to hear the Cage live? Oh no. Oh.
No. That's terrifying. Okay, well, with that scary thought in mind, do you guys have any last thoughts?
Speaking of Yanni, he's working on a new Dark Element album with Annette Olsen.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, I've been following Dark Element as well.
The single's pretty catchy.
For fans, it is pretty catchy. We'll probably talk more about that when it comes out. But yeah, I do love following Yanni's other projects.
Yeah, he was also part of the Heavy Saurus track, I think.
Oh yeah, Heavy Saurus put out like Heavy Avantasia-saurus.
Yeah.
With like
Heavy Avantasia-saurus.
Because with the latest album they are releasing, one of the songs they are releasing is their 100th song. 100th pronunciation. So their song number 100 and it's called 100. And it has a shit ton of guest musicians, vocalists and guitarists and keyboard people, and mostly from the Nordic lands, from where they come.
There's a bit more because Kai Hansen's in it. You got like Temu from Winter Sun. You've got like Tony Kakko from fucking Sonata. You've got Nora from Battle Beast. you've got tons of cool people on guests on this track.
And if you look for it in YouTube, just look for Heavisaurus 100 and turn on the, at least for English speakers, the subtitles. There, it's fully subtitled because most of the song is the dude talking and saying stuff, so you can see the little story.
Man, Finnish kids have it so much better. They get shit like that,
right?
Oh, but not only Finnish kids, because Heavisaurus has a Spanish-speaking counterpart in Latin America, so we have them as well.
Ooh.
Heavisaurius.
So they want that Latin America market.
Yeah, the Spanish version, I'm not sure how long it's been around, but at least 8 years or something like that, maybe more.
Cool.
And it's just the same band, just a version of the band in Spanish.
Well, that's a lot of new stuff to listen to.
A lot of homework.
Some confusing, some good. Yeah, a lot of homework. I'm gonna give Kyle his homework, and you guys, the listeners, thank you for hanging out with us all the way till the end. What else do I say?
Stay powerful.
Stay powerful.
Stay powerful.